Who doesn't want to live in a mansion? The glamour, the privilege, the amenities, and all that space. Sadly, the vast majority of us will never be able to afford one, unless you know where to look. And so long as you're willing to put up with some unusual conditions, and in some cases, a few uninvited housemates. The following are 10 picks for mansions no one wants to buy at any price. Number 10. Grinnell Loma. Located along Lake Superior in Michigan, this is the biggest log cabin in the U.S., spanning 26,000 square feet on 5,000 acres of prime woodland. Boasting 23 bedrooms, an outbuilding with 4 apartments, a 3,000-gallon outdoor hot tub, and a private marina, it was built by Luigi Kaufman, co-founder of General Motors, in 1923. Put on sale in 2015 for $40 million, it's a steal since it's fully furnished and is listed on the National Register of Historical Places. For that price, you can have the most amazing house in all of Michigan. Aside from the plentiful statues, paintings, fake teepees, and Amerindian bric-a-brac, well, just look at it. This is absolute proof that having money and a flair for business doesn't necessarily equate to having good taste, which probably explains why, as of July 2018, they're still trying to get rid of it for $20 million at a whopping 50% discount. Despite this irresistible offer, there are still no takers, probably because most people with that kind of money actually have good taste. Number 9. The Watcher Home. Most people hire others to watch their home while they're away. However, in Westfield, New Jersey, there's a family who have their house watched over for free, but they're not happy about it. It began in June 2014 when Derek and Maria Broadus bought their 2,800 square foot home with 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and 4 fireplaces for around $1.4 million and spent another $100K on renovations. Despite this, they never moved in. Why? Days later, they received a letter from someone claiming to be the Watcher. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s and my father watched in the 1960s. It is now my time, it said. More letters arrived threatening their children, so the Broaduses tried selling the house, but their story became headline news, scaring everyone off. In 2015, they sued the sellers, but that went nowhere, so they relisted the house for $1.25 million, gave up, and rented it out in early 2017. After the tenant received another threatening letter, the house was back on the market for $1.2 million, but still no takers, because who needs a stalker? Number 8. Party Penthouse. They say New York is a city that never sleeps, and this particular townhouse apartment embodies that statement perfectly. Located in the heart of Manhattan's luxurious Upper East Side, this gorgeous apartment has a 2-story greenhouse, double-height ceilings, a catwalk overlooking the sunken living room, and a roof terrace. It was a famous party pad for the rich and famous in the 70s, frequented by the likes of Jacqueline Kennedy and Andy Warhol. Designed for famous fashion designer Roy Halston Frowick, it was later put up for sale in 2011 for $38 million. Since then, its price fell to $24 million and still no takers despite an almost 37% discount. Why? Well, Halston, who died of AIDS, had interesting tastes. He was famous for bringing in male sex workers and feeding them steak as a form of foreplay. So far, so good, but it didn't end there. He was also into bestiality, and who wants to be associated with that at any price? Number 7. Historic Montclair House. Here's the deal of the century. A gorgeous 3,900 square foot house with 6 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, and 3 fireplaces, located on almost 3 acres of land. It was built in 1906 by the famous architect Dudley S. Van Antwerp and was once the home of Aubrey Lewis, the first African-American football captain at Notre Dame University, who went on to become the first of his kind to become an FBI agent. That explains why it's protected by the Historic Preservation Commission, and it can be all yours for only $10. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Granted, that purchase price is only for the house, not the land, and though located in gorgeous Montclair, New Jersey, you can't live on the site because they're about to build 8 houses on the property, meaning you can have the house for $10 if you're willing to move it somewhere else at your own expense, and pay for the repairs and renovations, which includes removing the lead paint, which is poisonous, and asbestos, which is also poisonous. All this while preserving its historical elements according to the Historic Preservation Commission. So be careful and consider all the criteria before signing on the dotted line to this mansion. Number 6. Pillars Estate. This mansion was built in the 1800s in the Greek Revival style. Located in Albion, New York, its owners spent 11 years restoring it to its original splendor. Just look at those lions at the entrance. It's a 7,200 square foot home with 6 bedrooms, 3 full baths, 5 gas fireplaces, a parlor, library, and ballroom. all on 6 acres of land. Its original asking price was $1 million in June of 2015 and reduced to $499,000 as of 2017. That's just a tad short of a 50% discount. Turns out the problem started during its costly renovations. The owners began seeing a child's face peering at them from a basement window, but when they checked, there was no child there. A worker also swore that a child spoke to him when there was no one there. A woman was also seen in a bedroom, and footsteps had also been heard on the stairways. Perhaps the owners might want to spend a little more on an exorcism. Number 5. Charming Forge Mansion. Located in Wilmersdorf, Pennsylvania, a portion of this colonial-style mansion was originally built in 1749 along the Topolhocken Creek. It was historically restored in 1994, but with modern amenities. The result is a gorgeous 7,800 square foot home complete with 7 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, 7 working fireplaces, a carriage barn that can serve as a 4-car garage, and a stone building that can serve as a guest house. All this on 48.52 acres of land. Worth several millions of dollars, right? Actually, no. You can have it for only $825,000. Turns out the original owner, Henry William Steigel, had a temper before dying on the property in 1785. They say you can hear him slamming doors and storming up and down the stairs. Others claim to have seen the body of a headless man roaming the property, while still others have seen and heard a young woman crying in an upstairs bedroom. Charming? Yes. Spooky? Absolutely. Number 4. Anne Starrett Mansion. Located in Port Townsend, Washington, this beautiful Victorian mansion with Queen Anne architectural detailing was built in 1889. It spans 5,800 square feet, boasts 11 bedrooms, and 7 full baths. Dubbed the grandest bonbon of them all, it sits on a hill in the historic district, overlooking the town with gorgeous views of the bay and sound. The house was built by George Starrett for his wife, Anne. As the love of his life, no expense was spared on this home, lovingly preserved to this day. It became a boutique hotel, which received 4 stars on Yelp till they closed it down. Currently, there's no price tag because no one wants to buy it. Turns out that the Starretts and perhaps some of their employees are still there. Stories abound of a woman with red hair walking about the place, believed to be Anne. Even better, they say she's never alone and is always seen with a man, believed to be George. If true, then they're clearly still in love with each other and with the mansion. Romantic, true, but who wants a house that comes with dead occupants? Number 3. S.K. Pierce Mansion. Located in Gardner, Massachusetts, this house was built in 1875 by Sylvester K. Pierce, a successful chairmaker. This gorgeous Victorian home boasts 6,700 square feet of space, with 10 bedrooms, 3 baths, 11-foot-high ceilings, marble fireplaces, and all the original windows, doorknobs, hinges, and floors. And no, it doesn't cost millions of dollars. You can have it all for only $329K, far cheaper than an average 3-bedroom house in the US. Why is it so cheap? Well, it's pretty famous. For being the most haunted house in all of Massachusetts, that is. There have been 7 known deaths reported in the house, including a strangled prostitute. No surprise there, since the house once served as a brothel. Throw in a little boy who stares out a front window, a servant roaming the halls, disembodied voices, and things being moved about, and you get this haunted mansion, which is featured in several shows devoted to paranormal activity. One ghost hunting team allegedly recorded voice saying, "Squeeze every throat," which could explain the prostitute and its undesirability. Number 2. The Priestley House. Located in Canton, Mississippi, this gorgeous Georgian-style house was built by Dr. James Priestley in 1852. It has 4 bedrooms accessed by a grand staircase, complete with a period kitchen, 4 bathrooms, a formal dining room, a music room, parlor, library, office, sleeping porch, pool, terrace, and greenhouse, all in peak condition on an acre of land. It's conveniently located a block away from central Canton. After extensive renovations, it received an award in 2010 by the Mississippi Historic Trust for outstanding restoration. Its asking price? Originally $938,000, but as there were no takers, they dropped it to $850,000, but still no buyers. It's not because of the pathetic 9.3% discount. It's because it's still occupied by the former doctor and his wife, who died in the home. In 2002, the former owner claimed to have seen a woman standing beside a doorway, something descendants of the Priestley clan have also reportedly seen. Others claim to have seen a piano playing by itself, as well as candles falling out of holders. So instead of calling it the Priestley House, perhaps they should change the name to Ghostly House instead. Number 1. Schwepp Mansion. Located in Lake Forest, Illinois, this mansion was built in 1917 by famous architect Frederick Wainwright Perkins as a wedding gift for Laura Shedd and her husband, Charles Schwepp. It spans 21,000 square feet, boasts 12 bedrooms and 11 baths on 5.4 acres, complete with a 400-foot beachfront. In their heyday, the sheds hosted European nobility, including the Duke of Windsor. Lovingly restored in 1988 by 70 craftsmen and artists, it's a steal at only $8,950,000. That's a bargain, given that they were trying to sell it for $9,450,000 in 2015. Go back to 2007 and it was going for $18 million, which means it's now selling at a discount of over 50%. So what gives? Turns out Laura died there of a heart attack in 1937. 4 years later, Charles blew his brains out after leaving behind a strange note that read, "I've been awake all night. It's terrible." Seems that the couple and some of their servants have never left the mansion. Despite being abandoned for almost 5 decades, a window in the master bedroom remained free of dust and cobwebs before renovations began. Annoying how some rich people just can't seem to move on.